Lunchtime is when kids can eat and recharge before getting back to learning. But at many schools across the country, kids don't have much time for lunch. So a new children's book is here to help children, parents, families, and educators remember just how important and fun lunchtime can be. Joining us today to talk about the release of his new book, Fun Time Lunchtime, is Jim Price, school counselor and the creator of the Adventures of Harold from the Hood book series. Welcome.
Thank you. It's such a blessing, and I'm glad to be able to be a part of this show again.
Yes.
Thank you.
Jim, it's so great to have you back at the studio. Last time we saw you was over the summer to talk about the Adventures of Harold from the Hood book series, and now we have the newest installment. What inspired you to create Fun Time Lunchtime?
Well, what inspired me to do that, of course, I'm working as a counselor. I see the kids in their everyday interactions, not just in the learning environment, but during their lunchtime and then their recess. And so I came up with the idea of coming up with something that's creative, that families and kids can relate to, and also to be able to bring that element of, coming about the holidays, have something that would be a good stocking stuffer, things like that as we come about the holidays. So I thought it would be a good thing to capitalize on being able to express this kind of social story in the setting.
And Jim, your books are meant to help kids to learn and cultivate social skills. So what are some important skills that little ones can acquire during lunchtime?
So, lunchtime is an important dynamic because now you're outside of the learning environment and you're having them actually have to do things in terms of utilizing their learn social interactive skills at lunch, sharing, turn taking, conflict resolution, things of that nature. So all these elements play a role, just not in, the elements of them eating lunch, but also when they do their recess time, learning to get along with others, respecting others' differences and things of that nature. So all those elements play a role in how important it is and how that plays, is a part of their dynamic of being able to foster healthy relationships with others.
Mm-hmm. And it was certainly fun. I was reading through it and I saw the part about how his favorite food's the French fries, and he was looking on the board to see that. And it sparked a memory in me thinking about, what's on the board, what I'm going to eat today. So that was always super fun. And can you explain why lunchtime is one of the most important parts of the day for children, especially when they're in school?
Yes, so lunchtime, you think about how school systems are today, and they try to have the kids eat nutritional value, food with nutritional values and things of that nature. So, when you have kids who are have that nutrition, that helps stimulate focusing, being able to focus better and have more alertness and things of that nature. So it makes it connect to be able to better grasp the learning concepts of things and things of that nature. So it almost connects when you have that aspect of eating healthy, nutritional value and things of that nature, how that inspires the brain to activity and things of that nature. So that puts them in place, kids in a place to be able to think more critically and be able to think about things in a way that connects with learning in a positive manner.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And as a school counselor, I'm sure you can see the difference between when kids have a nice, nutritious lunch versus when they don't. So what is the most important, takeaway from your book?
I think I try to put together a few different components in terms of not just the social skill building part of it, which is definitely a big part of it, but also the nutritional value and also being able to advocate for yourself. So, kids being able to speak up and say, hey, these are what my needs are. And I'm expressing those needs. And hopefully in those situations, kids can have their needs met when they're advocating for themselves openly about what they want. And also, that connects to utilizing social interactive skills. And that also connects to the overall picture of, eating nutritious value, foods and things of that nature that stimulate the mind to be able to focus better. So all those elements help within the school environment, but not just in the school environment, but in the home environments as well.
How does this book coincide with the rest of your book series?
A lot of them still connect with accepting other differences and learning to get along with others, and also utilizing social skills that are so important for kids' development these days. And I think that's one of the main parts that connects all the books, is that interactive piece that children be able to get along and be able to use conflict resolution to solve issues, be able to think about sharing and how one's actions towards one another can influence and affect that dynamic of that social interaction. So I think it's just been across the board with all my books. I've been trying to foster that kind of understanding, not for the kids and for families too, not just for kids, but for the family dynamics too.
Harold seems like such a fun character. Was there any inspiration behind him, or what's, I guess, your favorite parts about him?
Well, elements of the main character are actually, some of myself too. You notice the character has the glasses like me. Back in the early 90s, I had a high top fade just like the snail character. So I fashioned some of the characteristics of Harold towards me. And I'm also inspired by, the way that, I do the social skill learning lessons with kids in the middle school setting and the public schools and things like that. So I see how those things foster relationships among themselves, especially when they're put in a situation where they have to utilize those skills openly, maybe in a situation where they are not being coaxed, but they have to make those choices, make those decisions to be navigate their school day or even at home or in their communities as well.
That's really great. I love that. And we also have on the screen the information in case anybody wants to get the book or any of the books from the series. So we have that information on the screen. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Always happy to be a part of the show. And, we're always representing the 4132.
Great. Thank you so much.